You join us today in Japan visiting with the Yonex team. As you may know, we are huge fans of their rackets, and today we're hitting the new VCore 100. But we're not here to test the racket. We're doing a deep dive into their monofilament string lineup. To help us, the Yonex team have 8 VCore 100s all strung up with different sets of Yonex copolyester strings. All of the rackets are strung at the same tension, and the team have set up a TrackMan system on the court to help us test the strings. We'll be doing some live hitting and fed ball hitting to look at the spin, speed, and height of my shots and how each string influences the performance. The first string we're hitting in the VCore 100 is one of Yonex's most recognizable strings, Polytour Pro. Offering excellent all-around playability, there are plenty of reasons why this is such a popular string. As I get used to the conditions, I quickly find my groove with Polytour Pro. I like the way the ball pockets in the string bed, and I have plenty of feel for the ball and can instantly sense the depth and pace I'm getting on my shots. I like the overall response of this string. It's a string I can trust thanks to a consistent response. My level of control is solid, and I find myself swinging aggressively and not afraid of flirting with the corner of the court. Next up is a string I'm familiar with, Polytour Rev. I reviewed this string with Michelle back at Tennis Warehouse, and it impressed us both. Immediately, I feel the firmer, crisper response of this string compared to Polytour Pro. I'm getting lots of control on my shots, and it's a string I enjoy hitting with. I like the shape I can put on my shots with decent net clearance and plenty of spin to get the ball dropping to my targets. Polytour Rev is another string which encourages me to take a healthy swing at the ball and trust in its response. This is a good string for me, and I'd happily take it into a match. I also like the way it complements the spin friendliness of this VCore 100. Like Polytour Rev, this next string, Polytour Air, really complements the racket. Polytour Air has a soft, plush feel at impact, and the Yonex engineers have also increased that very sensation in the construction of the VCore rackets. The result of this setup is a sublimely soft and pleasing feel. I'm reveling in this plush response, yet I still feel really connected to my shots. It's a good thing since I'm getting a high arc over the net, and I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying this string, as I usually prefer firmer options. If you're looking for a very plush and comfortable feeling setup, this racket and string combination is a great way to go. Not only that, but I'm digging the blue color with the VCore cosmetics. Another string that looks great in the VCore 100 is this Polytour Spin. The string is really living up to its name, and like Polytour Rev, I'm getting lots of spin on my shots. However, with this string, I'm hitting lower over the net compared to both Polytour Rev and Polytour Air. My shots leave the racket with a more direct response, and with all the spin I'm getting, I'm hitting a little shorter in the court. I think I could get more out of this string by dropping the tension by about 3 pounds. It would hopefully let me carry the ball through my swing a little longer so I could get more loop and depth. I definitely feel I have plenty of spin to help me control the ball at lower tensions. Coming into this test, I already knew I was a big fan of this string, Polytour Strike. I like that I can instantly find good pace and depth on my shots. There's the comfort of hitting with a familiar string that has me quickly finding my confidence. I'm getting a decent amount of spin on my shots, and it's a consistent level of spin too. I like that I can hit with plenty of pace without sacrificing my precision. I was a fan before, and I'm still a fan now. Polytour Strike doesn't disappoint. From something familiar to something I'm glad to have a refresher on, it's been a while since I've hit with Polytour Fire. But it's all good with good spin, good pace, and good net clearance. That pretty much sums up Polytour Fire for me. The feel is slightly firmer than something like Polytour Rev. I'm a fan of crisper, firmer feeling co-poly strings, and I'm really enjoying the response of this Polytour Fire. If you want to get that crisp and connected feel, this is a great string to try. Polytour Drive is my kind of string, and I feel at home with it immediately. My confidence with this string has me feeling eager to attack the ball and start to swing with more racket head speed. I get so aggressive hitting with Polytour Drive, I have to slow down my swing a bit so we can get some comparable data with the other strings we are testing. That's a good sign though, and once we have comparable data, I can take some more aggressive swings with this string and really go for the corner. Another firmer feeling and very controlled string is Polytour Tough. I think this is a great option for big hitting players who want to supply the power and use the string bed to help add control. I find the feel a little muted compared to Polytour Fire. I'm getting good spin out of Polytour Tough, and I think that's partly from having to add racket head speed to my shots since this is such a controlled option.
What an honor and a privilege it was to test these strings with the Yonex team today. They definitely got me working hard out there, and the 3 strings that worked the best for me according to the data we looked at on the TrackMan was the Polytour Rev, Polytour Fire, and Polytour Drive. I seem to get good speed and spin on my shots, good net clearance out of these 3. So these are the strings I'm going to keep testing and maybe pick a winner.